Sometimes life propels you towards something you didn't know you needed, or something you didn't even know existed. That's how it was for me. I found myself at the Main Intent Horse Farm in Indian River, Ontario, almost by accident. I was the winning bidder on a horse experience that had been donated for a charity auction. The Main Intent is an amazing farm where people go for a variety of reasons. Some go there to learn about themselves or about leadership and communication. Others go there simply for the human-animal connection. Some go there to help with healing after a traumatic experience. At the auction, my wife mentioned that this farm does incredible things with veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD. And looking back on it, I see now that she might have been gently nudging me in this direction. I'd been a police officer for almost 30 years, and any first responder who says they don't carry a little extra emotional baggage probably isn't being completely honest. But being a serious animal lover, I went there thinking it was just going to be about spending some time with the horses. I had no idea that I was in for something much bigger. I showed up at the farm and met Jennifer, the owner. We chatted and then headed out to the barn to meet the herd. I asked if I was going to pick one of the horses that I would work with for our session, and with a smile, she told me that it doesn't always work that way. I spent some time at each of the stalls quietly observing the horses. There were a few that I would have been happy to work with, but it wasn't until I met the last horse, Prinz Harry, that I really felt the connection that I was looking for. He stuck his massive head out of the stall, hooked it over my shoulder, and he pulled me up to the stall door. He stuck his giant nostril right in my ear, and we stood like that for a few minutes. It was obvious to all of us that this was the horse that I needed to work with. It was in that moment that I realized I wouldn't pick a horse. The horse would pick me. As we got Harry out of the stall, Jennifer told me a story that made my jaw drop. Harry had been a racehorse until he suffered from cardiac arrhythmia. It's a condition where the different chambers in the heart aren't communicating properly, and it caused Harry's heart to beat wildly. He collapsed on the track, and in that moment, his career as a racehorse was over. What was so amazing about all of this was that I too suffered from the exact same condition. I had needed to be defibrillated the day before I met Harry. In the year leading up to this, I had 11 electric cardioversions and 1 surgery to correct the problem, and it had been more of a challenge than I cared to admit. The changes that this would bring for me were difficult to face. Harry and I made our way out to the arena where we spent the next hour and a half working on some exercises and spending time together. It was incredible to connect with such a powerful yet gentle creature, and the experience was unforgettable. As Harry went back to his stall later, I thought a lot about how his heart condition took him from the life he knew to this farm where he was doing something much more important than ever. Harry had obviously found happiness and a higher purpose. It wasn't until the next day when I was looking at a few pictures from our time together that the true lessons sank in. Like Harry, I had thought of myself as a bit of a racehorse. I was a long-distance cyclist and adrenaline junkie until my own heart condition forced me to make some big changes. Changes that I was struggling to accept. What Harry taught me was that when life presents you with what seems to be the biggest setback, you can always find a way forward. And sometimes, maybe it's life's way of leading you to something better. I've been out to visit Harry a few times since that day, and although he couldn't possibly understand everything he's done for me, I know he does feel my gratitude.